Ronnie, this is Erica and Lorraine with BBAD Radio.
Hey.
Hi, Ronnie. We're live right now. Just to let you know, we're live on the air.
Okay.
You had interesting past week this past week. Let's go back to your HOH.
Okay.
You had said that people would be saying Dr. Will Who, and we're fans of Big Brother also, and I know Dr. Will never would have won that HOH. Why did you not throw it to Michelle?
Well, I don't recall ever saying the only thing that I recall about the Dr. Will comments was it was in response to a comment Russell made to me one day when I was walking out of the DR up to my HOH. The reason why I did not throw the HOH competition to Michelle is because by no means do I compare myself to Dr. Will, and by no means was I trying to duplicate his strategy. I was being myself, and the way that I chose to play the game and just me as a person, I do not throw anything. I always give 100%.
Okay, that's fair enough. Because the question that we talked about after you won that HOH, Ronnie, and this is Lorraine speaking now, was the fact that Michelle was your clickmate. You were safe, and had she taken the HOH, you kind of could have just sat back and let the game play out that week.
Right. The reason why I did not, I'm not going to lie to you. About 3 days into my HOH, I did. 3 days into my HOH, that thought did occur to me. Why did I not do that? But the real reason why I did everything I could and thankfully won that HOH was because I was staying true to Jesse, Natalie, and Shima, which was my true alliance from the day one that I got in there until my moment of eviction. And my thought was, yes, I would have been safe if Michelle was HOH because of the click twist. However, at that point in time, I really did not know where her head was in the game, and there was the chance she could have put up Jesse and Natalie.
Oh, okay. And I have a question for you, Ronnie, and then we'll get back to Erica. In week one, Big Brother is not just a game of strategy and, plotting. It's also a social game.
Sure.
And I thought it was very interesting that you chose to burn bridges with one half of the house in the first week. How did you feel about that, and do you regret that?
It was a decision that I made, and I instantly knew the moment that I made the decision that it was going to be a huge fallout for me and potentially a devastating game move, which is why I made the comment I made when I cast my vote that week. But that having been said, afterwards, in the past week or two, I did speak to Jeff Jordan and the other house guests. And I do wish I had handled that situation differently in the way I wish I would have handled it in hindsight, which is 2020, of course. I should have just gone to them, even if it was a half hour before the eviction. I should have gone to them and said, listen, I know what I told you, but it's off. I'm voting to keep Shima. And that way they wouldn't have looked on the out. And even though they still would have said, hey, he lied to us up until a half hour before eviction, at least it wouldn't have been as grand a fallout.
Okay, fair enough.
Ronnie, you have also cried a lot in the house. Now, we know you're an actor. Were those tears real for strategy, or were you really crying?
The only tears that I cried that were strategy were the ones that whenever I went up to Russell after I was nominated and I was pleading with him, telling him I would never put him up. That was strategy. Beyond that, for instance, the tears that I cried whenever I was in the HOH room all sequestered up and I saw the picture of my wife and how much I miss my wife and everything, absolutely 100% genuine. I am a man who is in touch with my feelings. I wear my heart on my sleeve in many respects, whether you find that hard to believe because of the game I played in the Big Brother house. Outside the house, I'm a very honest, genuine, compassionate, caring person who gives 100% for all my friends and family.
Okay. I have another question for you, Ronnie, and I'm a huge Big Brother fan, as is Erica. We just love the show. We love the game, and we get the live feeds, and we're rabid fans. And I'm a little confused about what happened between you and Michelle to cause such animosity. And I got to tell you, from the beginning, it almost seemed like you had it in for her. So I was kind of surprised, why you felt so strongly the way you do about her. Can you talk to me about that?
Sure, no problem. When the game started between Michelle and I didn't trust her because she wouldn't really tell me too much. So it was just game, and I didn't know where her head was, and she seemed kind of awkward to me. That was just my own personal opinion. And there really wasn't any animosity at that point. Where the animosity really began was after I voted to evict Braden, and after what happened week 2 with all that fallout, I talked to Michelle and I talked to Shima, and the three of us decided that we were going to talk it out, and the ultimate outcome of that discussion was Michelle had told us it was water under the bridge and we were going to move forward, which at that point in time it was still strictly gameplay, which I completely respect everyone's gameplay, even if it's not what I would do. If it works for them, that's great. Where this animosity began to develop is after we decided we were going to be an alliance, I felt safe to discuss personal issues with Michelle and vice versa, and I thought that we were getting to be actual friends, not an alliance or gameplay, but just actual friends on a personal level. And then after I was nominated, it started, the gameplay portion of that relationship immediately deteriorated and fell apart. And about 72 to 96 hours before my eviction, that personal relationship became tumultuous, to say the least. And I know I said some things, she said some things too, and just it completely fell apart, which is why I made that comment. After sleeping on it, do I really, really think Michelle is like that? No. It's just the way I felt at that moment based on things she had said to me and, our interactions. And at this point in time, I'm just going to wait and see what Michelle has to say on finale night. And I guess the best example of the fact that, things were said by both of us and they weren't really meant is at my eviction, she tried telling me before I left that she had no ill will.